Our life is a book written about our time here on Earth. And if you hear some snoring, that's my cat Ethel. She has some nose problems. Within the covers of our book, there are countless stories to be told. They begin the second we are born and ends on the day we die. In hindsight, we have a very short time to write it. Each word, sentence, paragraph, and chapter are riddled with how we choose to live our life. Written by ourselves, co-authored by countless others, be it good or bad, that makes an impact on how the story reads. The pages are filled with learning, living, hurt, and love, but that is what makes it such a great story, right? There are pages and chapters we want to forget, to never go back and remember, but there are others that we flip back and want to reread over and over again. Memories that we hold closest to our hearts. I have such a memory. Looking back the other day at one single photograph, my junior year in high school, and in that photograph held memories and words to my story with people and events that meant something to me. I'll share them with you. This is Story Time with Lana. We're going to start with Tommy. Tommy's the very last photo on this page. Yeah, that's Tommy. And he holds a special place in my heart because, well, we grew up together. I guess we met probably when we were three, and we were on base together. His father and my father was in the military, and his mom and my mom became best of friends. So our families did everything together. If he wasn't at my house, I was at his house. So from very early age, I guess, I don't know, we're probably 16 in this photo. So, and I still talk to them, from time to time now. So that was a few years ago. Um, he I have a lot of memories with Tommy. Tommy taught me how to snap my fingers. We were, I think, five. I was at his house. I remember it. And we were in duffel bag, or not duffel bags. What do you call them? Sleeping bags. We were in sleeping bags, and he was snapping his fingers. And I was like, "Oh, teach me, Tommy." I always got him to teach me things. And he taught me how to snap my fingers. And let's see, he taught me how to whistle. It was probably better back then than it is now. I don't usually go around whistling, but he taught me how to whistle. I remember that day. Oh my goodness, it was a night. His parents and my parents had went out and left us in the capable hands of his older sister and my older sister. And we had had a peeping tom in the neighborhood that they caught him, but still, they were on the alert. So they heard this noise and they turned all the lights out and they handed us butter knives. I don't know what we were supposed to do with butter knives, but they told us to go hide behind the couch and chairs. Anyways, that night, he started whistling, because we got bored in the dark. And I was like, "Oh, Tommy, Tommy, how did you do that? How did you do that?" And he was doing it, and I was like, "Who taught you that?" And he was like, "My daddy." And I was like, "Well, teach me, Tommy." So he taught me how to whistle. Yeah, that was a little bit better. Anyways, let's see. He broke my finger. It was the only bone that I ever broke in my body my whole life, and I'm older than 21 now. Anyways, he broke my middle finger. We were in kindergarten, and his mama took us to school, and somehow or another, I guess my hand was in the wrong place at the wrong time because he slammed the door on it, and it broke my middle finger. And they put on this silver cast, some kind of little silver cast. It was like two times my finger size, and I guess I was going around the world with my middle finger up for a while. So, so that was that, and his little brother. Oh, his little brother. We had moved to Anacoco, so we was, out in the country by the lake, and we was going into cow field. And Tommy was holding open the barbed wire and saying, "Lana, go through." So I was going through, and I had my butt bent over. I don't know. We was probably about 8 then. And his little brother stuck a BB gun to my butt and pulled the trigger. And now I have a little cave-in indention on my butt to this day. So thanks, Roger. The next one, let's see. Let's go to Tammy. Tammy. Tammy was my best friend. If you go to the very last photo on a row, and then you go down 1, 2, 3. That's Tammy. Tammy and I got into all kinds of trouble while we were growing up. We were bad little teenagers. And she actually married Tommy, but that's another story in all in itself. We were really good friends with Deborah. Where's Deborah? Okay, she's the photo right underneath me. Oh, that's Deborah. And, actually, we are friends still on Facebook to this day. So, anyways, but in 11th grade that year, we were in the restroom. And the girls' restroom was right across the hall from the principal's office and the counselor's office. And Ethel, I'm busy. And anyhow, she was mad at me for some reason or another, me and Tammy. She was mad at both of us. And she called me a B word right when we was walking out the door. And I was ahead of her. And I turned around, this preacher's daughter now, and I turned around and hit her really hard across the face. And it knocked her down. But when she got up, oh my God, she beat the snot out of me because I was a preacher's daughter. I didn't know how to fight. And the counselor comes running out of his office, and the principal comes running out of her office, or his office, and gets us in. Anyways, I got suspended. They called Mama to come get me, and she, of course, thought one of the boys did it, not her little girl. But it was me that got suspended from school. And anyhow, Tammy had brought all of my stuff, my purse and everything into class, so I had to go get it. And when I went in there, they all stood up and applauded because I was the preacher's daughter, and the preacher's daughter just didn't do things like that. So that was a really cool story. Where do we go to next? Okay, second row and third person over. That's Samuel Anthony. He was my second grade sweetheart. And he was like the first person to give me a note that said, I love you. Do you love me? Check yes or no. Remember those notes? And I checked yes. And I sort of know why I checked yes, because he would always buy me a bag of chips at recess at the concession stand. To this day, I like chips, and it was all his fault, actually. I could kick his butt. But here's the story. We were at recess, and um, Samuel was chasing me around the playground. And my brother, he was in kindergarten, and he thought that Samuel was going to hurt me. So he's he started chasing him. It's like, you don't mess with my big sister. So he was all He-Man and stuff. Anyways, he reached down and grabbed a rock, and he threw it. It was a big rock, and it missed Samuel, and it hit the principal's window. And it was a big, like this double pane glass, stainless steel kind of glass. It was beautiful, and it put a hole right through it. Well, I remember, I remember when that happened, and my brother was in. I think it was the vice principal. It might have been a teacher, but he was in their arms, and Larry was kicking and screaming and clawing. He wanted down so bad, and he didn't want Samuel to hurt his sister. So I thought that was pretty cool. My little brother taking care of his big sister. Wasn't that sweet? And let's see. Okay, if you go to the top row, the second picture is Clay. Now, Clay went to our church sometimes, and we was having a revival. And after church one night, we went out to eat in town, and we came back, and well, he took me down this dirt road that nobody is supposed to go down, and we parked right in the middle of it. He just parked right in the middle of it, and we were, doing what teenagers do, kissing and all that kind of fun stuff. And all of a sudden, there was a blue light that showed up right behind us, and it was the little town cop, and we knew him, of course. And by the time he got to the window, though, we were all back, shuffled right, and sitting in our seats, appropriate seats, and he gets Clay to roll down the window, and he says, "Young man, I think you need to take her home now." And Clay says, "We were just sitting here discussing our church tonight. We had a good service." And the cop said, "Yeah, I'll tell her father about that. Now get her home now." So he got me home. That was sweet. Oh, God, there's so many stories on this page. We lost the third one, and we lost Mike. Where's Mike? He's right beside Deborah. That's Mike. We lost him the next year. If it wasn't for Mike, I could be dead. Uh, I used to, mom and dad had this big Ford, and I used to like to race their trucks with it, the teenage boys' trucks. And I was a little goofball. And one day we were going down a hill, and I was passing, fixing to go up another one, and I was going faster than Mike was. And Mike, if he wouldn't have slowed down real fast so I could pull in, a car would have hit me because there was a car on my side of the road coming down that hill, that came over that hill. So thank God for Mike, but we lost him the next year. Anyways, that's my story. That's part of my story of my life. It is right here in this black and white photo. Back to our life being a book. Occasionally we'll get stuck on a page, reliving it. We spend so much time reading the words, we know the words by heart. But because of hurt and pain, we can't turn the page to start a new chapter. Do me a favor and turn the page. Start a new beginning. Leave that page to learn from and just keep writing. Thank you for listening to Storytime with Lana. The end.